Hi, my name is Danny Brown. I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and today we're going to talk about why Realtor.com is not necessarily lying to you, but is definitely misleading you. So recently, Realtor.com came out with an article talking about renting versus buying and talked about Phoenix specifically and how the median rental in Phoenix is $1,000 cheaper per month than the median sales price. The thing I hate about statistics is you can prove whatever point you want based on what numbers you parse out to make whatever argument you're trying to make. And that's exactly what Realtor.com has done here. So when you really look at it, when you look at what the median rental is, they're talking about a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment that's about 800 to 900 square feet versus the median house that's probably priced at about $460,000 in Greater Phoenix is about 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with a yard, and is a single family home. This is not comparing apples to apples and is completely unfair and ridiculous when you're comparing renting versus buying. So if we really peel back the layers and we start to look into it, first let's start out by saying that for a starter home, if you're wanting to rent it, you're looking in Phoenix of paying about $2,100 a month. That's around 1,500 square feet, 3-bed, 2-bath, single family home. Now, what would you pay in today's market for that home is going to be about $375,000 for that purchase. Now, rates right now are hovering below 6.5%. And so if we can get some concessions from the seller, obviously to help buy your rate down a little bit, and you put 3.5% down, I'm not talking about 20%, that's also going to put your monthly payment, surprise, at $2,100 a month. So this is really comparing apples to apples. Now, I understand that when you own something, there's going to be external costs, the cost of maintenance, landscaping, all of those things associated with it, of course. But what I'm talking about is just your monthly payment versus each other. So you really need to look at the numbers and parse out what they're trying to tell you. Now, if we compare the median priced rental of a 2-bed, 2-bath, 800 to 900 square foot apartment versus the same style condo for purchase, you're looking at a purchase price of around $250,000 for that. That is much more of an apples to apples comparison. And the monthly payment that you're looking at for one of those is about $1,500 per month, both for rent and for purchase. So you really, really need to look at the data that they're presenting to you. And we're in this environment now where the media, the news is not just the news and media. It's all for clicks, and I think that this is one of those headlines that is just trying to bait you, to get you to click on it and not really giving you the meat of what's in the discussion. And so when we break these things down, it's not quite as extreme as the picture that Realtor.com is trying to paint. So the thing to remember is there's absolutely nothing wrong with renting. I'm not one of those types that's going to tell you that you're throwing money away by renting. Definitely not at all. And if you are very comfortable living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 800 to 900 square foot apartment versus a starter single family home and saving that $1,000 a month, that is fantastic. And I really hope that you are investing that $1,000 so that you're earning interest on it. The thing to remember that when you own a home is that it's like a forced savings account. You're depositing that money into an account every single month, where when you rent, you don't. And that deposit is always going to stay the same. It does not fluctuate. That's why it is the best hedge against inflation. The cost of money typically goes up every single year. That's what that 2% inflation that the Fed is working towards is everything is getting more expensive by 2% every single year. That's why most corporate jobs give you a raise of somewhere between 3 to 5% for cost of living. What's nice is your mortgage payment never changes every year, so every year you're in that home, it gets 3 to 5% more affordable. If you switch jobs and you get a nice big pay raise, it could become even more affordable. Where your rent, on the other hand, that's going to fluctuate over time. I don't know many apartment complexes or people that when it comes time for rental renewal, don't jack those rates up a bit. So if it gets to a point where you can't afford it, well, now you have to move and you have to find a new place to live. So that can cause a lot of uncertainty. So when you own a home, built-in uncertainty. It's way easier to calculate your budget because you have that fixed expense month over month. I'm also a proponent of buying a home when you personally feel that you are financially ready to do so, right? And speaking to people that aren't going to talk you into it or sell you on buying a home before you're ready. What we try to do is educate our clients, provide them the facts, give them the information so that they can make the best financial decision for them and their family. So working with a good lender, working with a good realtor that's going to provide you that information so that you yourself can decide if you are financially ready to make that obligation, and if you're in the position to do that now, or what steps you need to put in place to be able to do that within a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever that looks like for you. So buy a home when you're ready. You don't have to buy a home to be wealthy. It's not a rule. It does make things significantly easier and takes less discipline, but there's nothing wrong with renting. But I am always going to be a proponent of buying a home, obviously. So like all things, when it comes to the media, don't just take the information from the headlines. Actually look into it, do some research, and see what data they're pulling and if they're actually giving you the facts, and in this case, comparing apples to apples. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.